Well, certainly in terms of the EYFS review, it's, I think, reshaping the early learning goals so that they are perhaps a little bit more up to date, a little bit more reflective of what we know about early child development. I think that's one of the drivers. There's a big driver around workload, and particularly in the context of recording, documenting and tracking and using data and using next steps. And I think there's awareness, which is not new, that sometimes people get caught into this kind of vortex of expectation, and they end up doing things because they think they need to do them rather than having a clear idea of why they're doing them, for what purpose. And I think that maxim is very strong both in the EYFS but also particularly in the Ofsted framework, about being able to explain why you do what you do. And I think the more empowered we make ourselves, the more confident we are about explaining the approaches we take and being diverse and being flexible and being individual about that. I think the more effective we will be. I would really like to see an earlier sector which is much more critical and eclectic about how they do things. I worry sometimes that we often get initiatives or we often get particular schools of thought that say you should do this or you mustn't do that. And actually I would prefer practitioners who were selective about that and said, well, this is my approach, I will take these bits. Teaching is naturally, your educational philosophy is naturally eclectic by nature. So they would be confident about taking and rejecting things because they know what works best for the children that they work with and also what works best for them as an individual educator. You know, we talk about the unique child, which is part of the EYFS. Well, educators are unique too. They have different strengths, they have different ways of doing things, different kind of perceptions of how things work, and we should absolutely be respecting that. So we should be looking at the outcomes for children. You know, there's the Chinese proverb, there are many routes to the top of the mountain, but the view is always the same. And I think if we're focused on good outcomes for children, but less concerned about how we get there as long as we do get there, and less concerned about what that looks like, then I think that makes us much more effective as a community.